But enough about Capture Age. We are into game 1 between Ciskhan and Target. And I had Target in the blue. I'm going to change Ciskhan to red. There we go. Ciskhan playing as the Malians over here in what is the land, the island that will need to be evacuated from. There's plenty of cracked terrain here. There's even some extra cracks just to remind you, if you can't see, all the cracks directly underneath the town center. And that means that all the buildings that are built on cracked terrain are subject to additional damage. This is a very, very open area. And players also will likely want to fish to bolster their economy in the early game. Rhino going in immediately for target. And let's see, Ciskhan probably has some pretty decent scouting as well. Yeah. Scouting around, has found some shorefish along the shorelines, so he can send a villager out there. Is this... Okay. For a second I was thinking this might be build a dock first before the lumber camp. Lumber camp position's pretty good. As good as you can get around here. And it looks like Target's looking to go forward now. He's happy with his scouting. He hasn't actually seen a shorefish. Wow, his lumber camp might be even better. Look how snug that is. Malians could go man-at-arms as well, but I don't know if you might get that much damage in if your lumber camp, if your lumber camp's already that clean. But by the time Feudal Age comes in, we'll have to see how many of these trees have been chopped down already. 150 wood on these acacias versus the 100 wood that is more standard on other trees. So it does last a little bit longer. Allows them to get a few more fishing ships out. And Ciskhan, instead of scouting the way that Target is, he is pushing deer all the way from the mainland to his island. And Ciskhan's deciding to come over here for a dock. He doesn't have loom yet. This is risky. He's trying to push in deer at the same time, right? So all of his plans could go awry if Target had noticed that villager. But it looks like Target's just going to continue. I mean, he seems like he's looking for the dockville. Obviously, while focusing on other things at the same time. Bringing in a rhino. Oh, there's his rhino. I think he just... Oh, no, that was a houseville that was coming back. I see. There's the scout. Spots the villager. Quick walls do not come in. This can be huge if you get your dock denied. Quick walls are needed. Very much so. Ciskhan's going to try to get around this corner and drop that palisade. Drops one. Drops another. She's safe, except for the corner hit. Does Target go for the corner hit? And gets still in on the shorefish. Scout will have lost a little bit of HP and will have to run away. Very well done here by Ciskhan. I think Target could have avoided it. You know the only way the villager gets away is if it gets around that tree line. But the way pathing works, it can always be a bit tricky. And villager goes to make a house as well. A little bit odd that you choose to make the house there. And let your villager be exposed. But I guess the only thing that could come hurt it is the scout. Unless Target had a villager all the way up here building a dock as well. So both players recover their start. Scout getting away for Target. And it looks like it'll be an even Feudal Age fight for both players. Idle time is up there a little bit for Ciskhan. Half a villager. You know, there's a bit of chaos, so that kind of makes sense. And loom coming in for Target first. I'm expecting... I mean, let's see. Because Ciskhan was pushing deer, is he going for another deer? You need to scout on this map. Is he not going to play water? He might not want to play water against Byzantine... Yeah, he's going to try to lure that other boar in and allow the scout to block the boar so the villager can get back home safely. And we still have... Okay, now we're getting loom. This is a pretty late uptime, I want to say. 2 villagers later. I don't think this is a fast castle, but I'm just thinking about this. What do Byzantines do if Malians go FC into Gabetto? Okay, we're seeing a barracks. Okay, it's not that bold of a play. FC Gabetto with this kind of rush distance could be really, really nasty. maybe they save that kind of strategy for when they're up against a more difficult player. Because if your opponent's just going for water, or they're just going for Skirm Spear, Gebetto wrecks Skirm Spear. But bringing in that extra boar will be very beneficial for Ciskhan. I mean, Gebettos could still be on the table later. The main counter to that would either be something like crossbows, or trying to go into cataphracts, but that can be very expensive in the early game. Target continuing to add fishing ships on the way up, and it looks like they'll be quite similar. And yeah, this militia timing so late for Ciskhan. I mean, his economy still looks like right on the edge of what he can afford. Second lumber camp, obviously costing him in wood. He has to come across. Yeah, archery range will already be starting to be produced or built. And target sees it coming. He sees the man-at-arms. I think Ciskhan was just hoping that target would just go water blindly. And he wants to stop the archery range. But both players are on top of it with their quick walls today. And because Ciskhan didn't scout really much at all earlier, he doesn't know where the resources are. He doesn't know where the lumber camps are. He's just, I mean, I guess he still gets man-at-arm. Gets some good damage against the spear. Look at that micro. And target's out of resources under town center. Ciskhan still has a little bit more since he pushed a bit more. That's the advantage, I guess, of not scouting and pushing. But yeah, Ciskhan's not going to find much damage at all. We do have skirms out already. Archer going to be the follow-up. And this cute little wood line down here, still very efficient. Just a few houses or a few walls will do the trick. Obviously, because it'll be on cracked terrain, the man-at-arms could push through that fairly quickly. What is it? The skirm is 2 attack, and men-at-arms have 1+1 armor. So they're doing 1 damage to these skirms. But obviously forcing a lot of reactions, a lot of clicks out of target, and a lot of quick walls. Men-at-arms do some decent damage to that scout there. It looked like all of them connected as the scout tried to run away. And we have a hole, and it immediately gets patched up by target. Behind this, we have what looks like, okay, maybe some archers from target, or from Ciskhan, sorry. And I feel like Ciskhan's going to want it. He's spreading out his men-at-arms now, just to force reactions out of every unit from target. He has to micro every single one away. Scout and men-at-arms can go into the town center since the villagers are already starting to evacuate for both players, going out for extra food. And the first fire is coming out for both players now. Oh no, there's already one going across, and there's one here for Ciskhan just waiting behind. And look how much these men-at-arms have actually been able to do. They slowly get poked away, but it's hard for these skirmishers to do much damage at all against the extra pierce armor that Malians have. And I think they could jump again, find some hits against a villager, which almost feels like bait. Might take out another spear, and look, keeping that scout alive. Look at the micro. Behind this, very similar villager counts. Idle TC is similar for both players as well. And rest collected is actually 500 more from Ciskhan. And I think that's just pushing in the extra resources at the start. And maybe also not having to micro around your villagers, having to build additional walls. And I think the scout's going to try to get a few more snipes on these scrims, and then get stuck, and then run home. Stand under the TC. Trying to dodge the TC fire. What a micro nerd. Oh my goodness. I didn't know this is what we had in store. And still adding additional archers from the archery range. We'll need a stable before trying to move out. Because against all the skirms that our Byzantine player is making, it's not going to do all that much good. But Ciskhan is winning the water fight as well. Outproducing there. But it is 5 fishing ships versus 3. So target will have the temporary advantage, at least in the number of resources bringing in. Archers coming forward now. I mean, they could do a lot of damage if they snuck along here, but usually I think in between the navy and the villagers, there's a very thin path where your Byzantines with crazy amount of vision, the archers would just have to like sneak in there. Yeah, it's just not going to work. So the archers instead coming around the top side, and spear being sent around to scout for target as he's lost his scout in the fight. Spots the archers, archers make themselves known, and target will relocate the skirms over to the other side. But also, the archers can just go to these villagers that are very, very exposed, and Ciskhan doesn't go for it. He goes for the resources that he knows are out here. We do have a stable as a follow-up. I'm saying, yep, 2 scouts on the field now. The starting scout and the new one that was produced. And Ciskhan's doing such a good job with his resources. I don't know about going in for this fight. This seems unnecessary, especially with all the skirms here. He does have fletching, though, and his opponent does not. So maybe seeing that as an opportunity. Scout still doing some damage. New scout going to run under the TC, and will be able to get away unharmed. And it looks like target is completely falling apart here. Where is the army for him? 3 to 12 army. The hybrid map approach is clearly not his favorite. He's been able to whittle down the archer number to 2, but Ciskhan's not going to, give those units away for free. He's going to keep microing, and there's nothing left. The villagers are forced to make a panic tower. New skirms and new spears are just microed down. His navy is very pitiful. Just 1 fire galley and 1 demo raft. Looks like the tower will go up, though, and push back all this pressure from Ciskhan. But the villagers over here are still exposed. Ciskhan has plenty of mobility. He should be able to walk over there and see that. He has 7 more eco units now. 6 to 0 eco KD. Target must have lost something to a wolf or a boar that I didn't see earlier. I don't know if he tried to bring in a boar over here. That boar has 0 kills. Or maybe lost one under the TC in early game. But yeah, not looking too hot for him. Scout still forcing target to react over here. And Castle Age on the way as well for a Malian player. Malians have pretty much everything you would want in Castle Age. A great unique unit. Great knights, great camels, great crossbows that get fast ballistics can come in for them. Scout not on stand ground will go down. That feels like the first real misplay that Ciskhan has had. And it looks like he's going to lose this fight against the Byzantine fire. Maybe that's why he lost the scout while he was microing this. But yeah, great shot from target. Brings the fire back. Has lost all of his fish, though. Wasn't able to save those. So Ciskhan can make a few more fires going up. But in Castle Age, I would imagine both players are going to take their foot off the gas in terms of building navy. They can expand their economy onto the mainland where you have all the golds, many, many deer, some forage bushes, some stone. And that's why we have so many villagers over here for Ciskhan. Castle Age will come in as well for target. But he is a decent ways behind in economy. More archers over here as well. Almost feels like he's going to need more towers. He does have a market. Could buy another 100 stone, and that's indeed what he's doing. Where is he going to place it? Is this just going to be for TC? Oh, he's going to build it over here for the villagers that have no army support. Villagers forced to run away. And Ciskhan looking like he's going to accept the tower. Scouts come over here. They might be in time. It's hard to tell. They get underneath or between the villagers and the tower, preventing them from continuing to help. Tower looks like it will go up, but how many villagers will go down in the meantime? Oh, no, target doesn't even notice this. He hasn't noticed. He's too focused on the archer micro. Or just resetting his economy after the archer micro. Now he notices. And Ciskhan can just sit here. Ciskhan's in such a good position. What can target do to bring this back? It feels like he needs an all-in siege push right down the middle. Ciskhan now getting crossbow and double bit axe. I mean, maybe target, yeah, can go siege push with a fish boom in behind. But it'll be very, very difficult. I mean, there's already siege on his face, right? One villager down to the mangonel. Skirms are the only protection, and it's not much of a protection. Target calls the GG. And here's the new button in Capture Age, so we can save the recording into a different file type and share it regardless of what patch anyone else is in. Very cool. Statistics. I think it kind of just was in Ciskhan's court from the beginning of the game with those man-at-arms. It felt very late, but the extra food he pushed in and his attention to the micro really helped him out. It felt like Target spread himself a little bit too thin, didn't have great scouting because he wasn't able to... I mean, if he got that villager pick at the start, right, he would have been in such a better position, but didn't quite get it. Economy is just ahead. I mean, it was fairly even, I guess, a lot of the time. But once Ciskhan got those Vil picks off and he killed the fishing ships, he was definitely in the lead. And you can see, look at this guy's APM. It's nuts. He's clicking everywhere all at once. Let me go to... Or was it right about here? This was the big moment. Target just had to get in front of this villager, and he just missed that opportunity, and Ciskhan with this crazy APM was on top of it. Maybe the corner hit comes in right there, but it looks like Ciskhan found himself back at his dock in this, behind the safety of some palisade foundations. Scout comes over to help, and from there it felt like Ciskhan was in control of the game again. Res collected is exactly even at that point in the game, and yeah, Target, I don't know what the big difference was. I guess Target just didn't have the scout HP anymore, so he couldn't do the scouting to figure out what his opponent's follow-up was. I mean, he actually saw the range. It seems like he saw everything. So it's hard to say what exactly went wrong after that. All right, next game started. There's just the Spectale left, so we can go ahead and jump into that in a moment. We are into game number 2, and it's on... I forget whose home map this is. I'm going to put Ciskhan back into red. We have Ciskhan, or sorry, we have Target playing as the Portuguese and Ciskhan playing as the Italians. Exactly what I was thinking. First one went to Ciskhan, of course. Now let me double check home map. This is Target's home map. But I feel like Italians and Portuguese both do very well on this map, and I think this kind of map suits both players as well. I don't think there's a huge advantage for either one of them here. The main features on Shoals are the sea tower that you start with right along the shoreline. So both players will probably build their dock right underneath their sea tower. And then start fishing maybe 3 or 4 fishing ships, similar to what we saw on Evacuation. And then both players will have to move out to the gold mines if they want to produce any sort of gold unit, if they want to be able to get up to Imperial Age. The golds that they start with at their main base is just, I guess it's 1,600 to 800 gold piles. Be very, very difficult to try to get up to Imp with no control whatsoever over either gold mine on the side. And then stone is kind of scattered around the outside of the map as well. Both players are probably just going to go maybe some light water play and into a fast castle. That's generally what we see out of both players. But with these civs, we could see Italians going for some sort of galley play, just trying to micro around the tower. Actually, given what we saw last game with Ciskhan trying to just micro around the town center fire, that might be more his play style, to just try to micro around the sea tower. Sea tower has, what is it, 7 attack at this point? So it's doing a lot of damage. Salut, yes. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, Ciskhan could go for some feudal galley play and hope his opponent Target is not on top of it. Where's he going? Oh, he doesn't. Okay, he didn't quite have the wood, I guess, to build the dock. So just sent the villager to get a little bit of extra resources. What is he at? 1 in the bank. So he'll drop 1 additional wood off after he builds the town center. Those little minimal gains that the players can try to get. And dock goes up first for Target. 2nd game in a row. Luckily, the scout's there to defend this game, so we won't see a repeat of what happened last game, with where quick walls are needed. The rest of the maps feel pretty even. I mean, this wood line here for Target is looking really, really clean. I mean, you build a house there, and maybe, what is that, like 1, 2 more houses, 3 houses total. You wall off all that side. This side, you could wall to the stone, and then maybe back here. Meanwhile, this is fairly open here. I guess both players have a fairly open front of their map. And this wall off's not too bad. It's just the golds for Ciskhan are a little bit more exposed. They're not hidden behind wood lines. So I don't think... I mean, this one I guess technically is, but you just have a bit more of a wall to cover it up. And it's a little bit more difficult to evacuate from if you needed to. But that was the last map. This is Shoals. Ciskhan going forward to get some scouting information from his opponent. And I would say target's a little bit further ahead in the fishing ship count since he got his dock up first. But nothing too crazy here. Did Ciskhan... No, there's another pack of deer that Ciskhan could have pushed, but he just pushed the... I believe it's 4 or 5 that are at the front of his base. And I guess, yeah, target could have pushed this pack as well. Aren't there supposed to be more deer back here? I don't know what the map scripting is, but it feels like... Or maybe Ciskhan actually did push two deer back here. I am casting a bit more, but it's more that I really enjoy TTL. I am kind of full-time Age of Empires at the moment. It's in between full-time Age of Empires and learning some 3D modeling. And I definitely am spending more time with Age of Empires kind of stuff, and yeah. I am unemployed in every other regard. So whether you want to call that full-time or not is up to you. Scouts will meet each other. And target's like, yeah, just let me keep pushing. We're good. And Ciskhan's like, yeah, you might be up first, so I'll run my scout away along the edge of the map. But Ciskhan is actually the one who's going to be up first. And building a second dock, so it does look like it's going to be galleys trying to snipe the fish out. But target still has some fish in the protection of his sea tower. And he's clicking up now. I mean, Italians behind this can still get a very nice uptime. Will need a mill at some point if he wants to build a market. The economy's a bit stretched. And, okay, it's just the scout running under the sea tower. He's trying to get a snag, I guess, on the villager. Villager does not have loom, but the town center is so close. And he baits out the town center fire. Thinks about going for the water buffalo, but he's just absolutely baiting. Master baiter. Think about going for the snipes, just forcing idle time. But really, he could have gotten a scout trapped. Maybe he just knows target well enough and knows that target doesn't want to go for the gate right here to trap the villager, or sorry, trap the scout underneath the town center. And now the barracks is going to be completed. Still has plenty of time before he needs that barracks to build what I assume will be a stable to follow it up. Look at him fighting under the town center. Master baiter. Does take an extra hit there. Doesn't feel like it's worth it at all. But Ciskhan's going to flex. And obviously he's going to distract with his galleys coming forward. Wouldn't be surprised if he taps that house just for the extra distraction. Target's about to be in, and he can take that fight and force Ciskhan's scout away. Villagers will spot it as the scout runs. Okay, scout might just be there to push more deer now that he's back up to decent HP. But weird placement for the stable. I know you just want it up, and clearly a distraction from Ciskhan was working. Lumen for the villagers as well. Very, very useful. And Scout's just like, yeah, I'll chill here. That's fine. I don't know if... the fish just ran out. Ciskhan's trying to find the fishing ships. He's like, where would they be? But he just needs to loop back over this side. Scout is also on the lookout for the fishing ships. And Tower sees the galleys now. Target might just leave the fishing ships right underneath the tower. And that looks like what he's going to be doing. And Ciskhan's actually investing in more fishing ships. He's just... Yeah, this is what I was expecting from Ciskhan. He's just happy to bait around the tower. And I'm sure he'll be baiting with some ships and bringing in the other ships afterwards to try to keep getting those snipes. There are pathways through the middle, so if Ciskhan could get some good damage here, he might just have the opening to run into Target's base as he wants to. But Target is also just about halfway up to Castle Age. Scouts find each other, and Target wins that fight because Ciskhan tried to be too fancy under the town center. And here's the additional galleys coming through. I guess Ciskhan wants full water control so we can continue to fish. He's almost treating this like it's migration, where you do the 2 galley pressure, or 2x2 galley pressure, and then you follow it up with a better fish boom from yourself. Just the 2 docks for the moment, but yeah, seems like he's happy to control it with galley micro, with his superior micro speed, and he's not too far up to far behind to the castle age either. Looks like it's been market and blacksmith for him, so he's fairly unprotected on land. And we do have scouts coming out for target. Did Ciskhan see the stable? He did, so that might be in the back of his mind, but he hasn't added any spears yet. Just treating this like a full water map. And he hasn't really walled up much other than this wood line that'll be open in the back soon enough. Follow up for target. It's floating a lot of wood. Okay, it's monastery from home. I don't hate it. Light cav would be nice if he could afford it. Oh, he's going for war galley. Okay, he's going to fight water. And just allow the scouts to be a little bit of an issue. And we have some quick walls from Ciskhan, sending his villagers back underneath the town center. Does he have loom? Okay, he does. And as I mentioned before, that tree, we're going to have to watch it, see what happens. Meanwhile, in the water, galleys are able to micro back to the safety of the sea tower. And before war galleys comes in, so much is going down for target. Definitely not the best fight here. Clearly was focusing on his scouts instead. Could have just run back to the safety of his tower. And we do have a TC in the back on the stone, so target is probably thinking, I'll control one of these outer gold areas with a castle at some point. But the quick walls have come in. I guess slow walls have come in for Ciskhan. He had quite a bit of time. And he's going for a range. Is he just going to go right down the middle with range units? I'm not sure. Galleys are trying to come back, maybe to do some damage against the scouts. We need another quick wall here. It's still open. Scouts might not be willing. Okay, target's a little bit more patient. Not quite willing. That is very close to being an overchop. Scouts see it. Does Ciskhan see it? No way! He leaves it on 3, and we go back to the water fight. Galleys are looping back around, now war galleys, and it looks like this is going to be an easy win for Ciskhan on water. Here we have the town center for target, far away from the water. And scouts are really glitching out here. Alright. More fires looping around, trying to deal with the war galley. Ciskhan's on top of it with his own fires. And yeah, Byzantines are... Or sorry, it's not even Byzantines. Portuguese have extra HP. But they can't outcompete that number of Navy units. Monastery, we have 1 monk on the field. Okay, coming over to the relics that are right next to the gold areas. And then we have extra relics in the corners. So that makes sense. But knowing you have full water control, you might as well. More fire ships being queued for target still. But I don't think that's enough. We've seen how Ciskhan's been microing. Does not feel like it's been enough. Res collected is 1,000 ahead for Ciskhan. So clearly, winning water is doing it for him. I do like this monk edition. You just have to watch out for these war galleys. I mean, baited the war galley. And now he's actually in a decent position. And no way! That tree doesn't block. Okay. I thought that tree might actually block some damage. Demo comes in. Yeah, I think target just held the water. I mean, he's not in a great position. Needs to get behind the corner of the dock. Does so. Comes back. Does some damage. Does the extra Portuguese HP do this? No way. Well played, target. That was a tight set. Now we have cav archers. Okay, not what I was expecting from Italians. But it works. He already had Botkin that he was using for the war galleys, and he might as well use it for the cav archers. Scouts just hiding in the back here. What if the villagers came out here? I mean, he probably knows the villagers going to come out to this gold. And Ciskhan scouting, it was just a quick little lap just to see, is there any building here? Is there already a castle here? Before I get my town center up. And okay, Monk comes out again. No war galley to deny that now. And Ciskhan's forced back. I really like the monastery now. And his fish are under attack as well. Behind, the scouts are finding some kills. Target doesn't have the best eco KD because the fishing ships earlier. There's a quick wall attempt back here, but it looks like both scouts will go down. And still eco KD in Ciskhan's hands, in his court. Cow archers are looping around though, so we will see. They are an answer to the monk, though I think the monk sees them and... Okay, now they see the monk. And target forced on horse collar. How many farms has he built? Okay, he definitely needs more for 3 TC. Idle TC time, 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Not looking too hot for him. He was up first, but Vil count's actually behind for him. Yeah, I feel like Ciskhan's just pulled him out of his comfort zone with the crazy APM that Ciskhan's able to pull off. And now Cav Archers are in. Target's going to be scrambling once again. Having nationality flags by the player's name is goated. I can actually do that. I mean, if Ciskhan gives me a moment to do it. Are you talking about the Civ icons? I was thinking nationality flags of like the players. Microing around the Scorpion, getting, what is that, 4 more villager kills, as villager doesn't know where to go to avoid the Cav Archers. I think that's just default capture age. If I go to the cast settings, I can put, where is it? I think this is just kind of bugged though. No, it's not too bad. Does that replace it? Oh, it just puts it behind. Okay. I don't know if I like that better. We'll try it out, since I already set it up. And, yeah, Ciskhan's eco, even behind this, he has, I mean, I guess he has a lot on food just from the fishing ships. Hasn't been able to take out the dock yet. But does have Cav Archers that are even taking out the, what is that, a villager and a monk? They're sitting here on the gold. He has so much map control with such little investment. It's crazy how good he is. Like, this is a player that just reached gold this season, who was playing in silver before this. And I feel like I've casted him before, and I haven't noticed. I mean, okay, that wasn't the best example, but I haven't noticed this amount of micro and this amount of awareness. Like, he's on top of these fires. Maybe that's just patrolling. And I think he loses this fight against, yeah, the additional HP here. He could pull back to the tower. Maybe he isn't thinking about the Portuguese bonus there. Cav Archers are going to have a hard time as well. How much Pierce Armor does a fire ship have? 6 Pierce Armor, and the Cav Archers would be doing 2 damage per shot. Not the fastest producing units. Oh no! The monk stole the relic here as well. Relics collected is still in target's court. It's just the res collected is not. Flags are not really useful IMO, but it's fine. Yeah. I guess unless you're really used to them or you really want to root for your home team, your home nation, and you don't really know. But yeah, I think I am going to remove them because it just kind of hides the Civ icon. Cav Archers coming in to try to take out the monk, and I don't know who wins this. It looks like they just patrolled. They're like, there's clearly other things to worry about. Scorpions have also come in to help they're part of the Empire over here on the gold. Yeah, I'm going to remove the flags right now. There we go. Now we see the Civ icons more clearly, and I think that is what matters as well. This is such a funny build. I guess, I mean, I keep thinking he's Byzantines. I don't know why. The Portuguese do have slightly cheaper Scorpions and slightly cheaper monks. I'm pretty sure the gold bonus applies to Siege as well. And yeah, Cav Archer's just dancing. Yeah, both KD and Eco KD. Oh my goodness. Ciskhan. That castle. He doesn't even... Okay, he has light cav. I didn't even notice that. And he's getting the second armor, bloodlines, and husbandry for them. He's just going to try to run in between these Scorpions. But it really feels like the Scorpions, for a second there, were blocking the monk attack. One monk goes down. One monk stays. And villagers have to stand their ground. They cannot go for the castle drop until we get another light cav in here. Even then, it feels like it's difficult. Do Cav Archers get involved to try to get a snipe? Monk's going a conversion, and light cav gets denied. Cav Archers go for a snipe on the deer. Wow, 3 Scorpions, or technically it was 4 Scorpions, 2 deer. Light cav continue to have to be produced to deal with the Scorpion mass. And coverage is going down as well. Feels like Ciskhan's being overloaded with the total number of actions per minute he can do. He's in a great position in this game. He just can't throw it. He has to be patient, has to get the light cav numbers out here. And he is on 2 stable, I believe. Yeah, there are both the stables. Has even denied the redock. Target's going for the castle of his own. Monk was in the way for a second there, but gets out of the way. Only has so many villagers here to build the castle. But it would... I mean, it wouldn't completely deny Ciskhan's castle. Ciskhan sees it. Does he reposition his own castle a little bit further away? No, he's going for it. He's like, I have army. Okay, he does reposition. I think that's smart. No point in losing the game just because you placed a poor castle. And he's actually going to pull all of his units back and build a castle over here, which is very interesting. I'd be a little bit concerned. I guess no, I'm still thinking Byzantines. There are no drone months. That castle will be safe. I mean, I guess except for bombard cannons. Or not bombard. Why am I blanking? Cannon galleons. There we go. There's no bombard in that word. Both players up to imp. It's just Ciskhan has what feels like all the control right now. War galleys to take care of the monks. Fire ships to take care of everything else. I get so excited in these games that I forget the name of units. Just need to take a deep breath. And that's what's great about Ciskhan's position is even though he doesn't have a castle here, he still feels comfortable taking the resources. I mean, we do have 2 organs coming out. A bombard boat? I wouldn't mind a bombard boat. That feels like a nice name for it. I think this number of light cav can just swarm in, especially if the... Okay, they were on stand ground. Light cav might have to run back, even with full armor. We're going to have ballistics as they first click for target. He knows that his bombard boats and his bombard cannons are going to be key here. I mean, he doesn't have water control. Maybe not bombard boats. Just bombard cannons. Light cav and villagers get pulled back for the moment. Ciskhan's only about 150 stone away from a second castle to protect this side of his economy. And the organ guns can only get so far away from that castle. They almost have like an imaginary tether where if they get too far away, they'll just get swarmed by the light cav. Ciskhan getting housed for a moment. And additional TCs for target. I mean, he's at risk of just losing this castle from bombard boats of his opponent. Imp's not in yet, so chemistry will still be a ways away. And yeah, Ciskhan's not waiting. He's like, give me another castle. Give me another castle. Luckily, that won't get instant denied because the foundation for the castle is overlapping the town center. So it will be non-buildable. And I like this aggression. Just keep sending the cav archers around. Find damage where you can. How did Ciskhan know that was coming? Okay, now he sees it. He's going to rebuild the foundation. Or just send the villagers packing for the moment. And build the castle a little bit safer behind. And... castle drop. What does target have? He has 10 units. 9 are organ guns that are stuck over here. And 1 is a bombard cannon that's trying to snipe war galleys from the shoreline. It's not looking too hot for him. Could drop quite a few additional farms at home. We even have a condottiero being spammed out for Ciskhan. He has the answer to the Portuguese gunpowder units. Target hasn't recognized that yet. He does now. He doesn't have any archer upgrades. Did he get bracer? He built the university pretty early. Or was that a market? Maybe that went down before he actually made any use. Or maybe it got denied. I didn't notice. But now he's getting ballistics. He seems so far behind. I think he was just hoping he would get some sort of imp spike for the faster imp click. He's made a few knights, though I don't know how much they can do. I mean, the score reveals all right now. I think the organs go down and target might call it. If not light cav, then the condottiero that's being produced behind the light cav should do the trick. Light cav just keep running in. They don't care. They have full armor on. And we only have chemistry and fletching for the castles at the moment. No bombard boats yet for Ciskhan. He's confident he can just finish this off on land. Pressuring from both sides. 1 Treb versus 2, because we had another castle here. I was sending a Treb forward. Knight versus 2 Condottiero. It looks like the Knight will... Oh, no, doesn't even win that engagement. Condottiero just attacked too quickly, maybe. Also, they have better upgrades. New castle back here. This is the hill... The non-effective hill. The non-existent hill that target wants to die on, or stand on. Okay. Treb goes for the TC instead. I'm not sure about that one. And we even have condos raiding in the back of the economy now. I don't really know how they got in. Must have just looped all the way around. Boats for Ciskhan have been pulled back. They got tired of being sniped one by one by the bombard cannon. I don't think Arquebus is in. No, that shot would have landed far closer to the light cab if Arquebus was in. Condos, I don't think they have, what's it called? Arson, but they're going in for some attack. Yeah, no arson in yet. Still trying to do some damage. Could get some damage against the trebuchets as the first castle forward for Ciskhan has fallen, but I'm guessing we're going to see some more in the future. These condos just... Okay, I think they were being poorly microed or something. I don't know why this Treb wasn't firing on the castle at first. I mean, target's kind of holding, but he just still feels like he's so far behind. Full condo spam from Ciskhan. He has a lot of barracks on this side. And as long as he masses them a little bit first, I think he's in a very good position. He's going for Capture Am as Italians. That's pretty interesting. Capture Am plus Condottieros. Is that for on this side? He hasn't made any rams yet, right? No rams yet. And building a castle over here, decides not to. He's built it far safer, just in case there was already Trebs on the way. I mean, Portuguese are a defensive civilization. You would think they'd be able to hold to some degree. Condos are going to be fully upgraded now. I don't know if Pavis has come in yet. I can check that. And no Pavis yet, so don't have the full Pierce armor. But Ciskhan is pop capped, and target's stuck at, what, 130 population? Almost all of that, his villagers. Ciskhan can start deleting villagers soon, as his bank continues to grow. Might want to get all those upgrades first. Sees that target's trying to get back on the water here. Sent all of his organ guns over here to help support villagers building their docks. And target calls the GG. Sees he's never getting back on water. It's only a matter of time. The condos are in. They've completely wiped his army back here. Ciskhan wins game 2, but it's a play all 3. We still have 1 game remaining, but Ciskhan's looks so dominant. So dominant. I mean, is target look bad? Not necessarily, but I think he might have to have a different approach to the game when he's up against Ciskhan. Maybe just play a little bit more walled up, almost like an arena style. A target does seem like he might have the better civ for game 3, though. All right, we're into game number 3 between target and Ciskhan. Ciskhan back in the red. Okay, has Q loom. We'll have to force drop. Doesn't force drop. Okay, but is able to queue another villager. What was first game? First game was... Shoot, let me look at... It was Byzantines versus Malians. And it was just full control by Ciskhan. I'll be sure to post this rec to YouTube as well. And you'll be able to watch it back there. I mean, Ciskhan just looks so dominant with the micro. And so, yeah, the start for Chinese doesn't look too crazy on this map. There are, what do you call it, geese that are easily brought underneath the town center. And there's, yeah, quite a bit of hunt, which makes sense why you would want to ban Mongols out. In the middle of the map, we have a pond with some fish, but due to the way the players have spawned, it's not like directly in the rush distance, the rush vector, if you want to be really technical about it. I like Georgians here with the early mule cart. You can get out to that pond if you want to dock it very, very early. Or you can just play it into scouts and go for really fast uptime. And trying to wall this off would be quite difficult. It's just very open. So we'll see what Ciskhan has planned. He's sending 2. Okay, that was just a misclick. Not forgetting the house. First one he's had to build so far, playing as Chinese. Yeah, first game, Ciskhan was playing as the Malians, went for a man-at-arms rush, followed with archers, and he wasn't worried about all the skirms that Target was making as the Byzantines, because he just microed them all down with his scout. His micro was just impeccable. Yeah, both players going out to this middle area. There is loom on our Chinese players' villagers because of standard Chinese start. And it looks like they... Oh, no. Haven't seen each other yet. Now we'll see the scout from Target. And Ciskhan... I mean, there's potential for a downhill hit. And Target just runs back. And now Ciskhan's going to be like, okay, if his scout's here, there's a good chance he's got villagers here as well. So he's looking. And he sees the village dock. And he also sees there's already a fishing ship out. Just power of the Georgians being able to get here so early. And because the villagers are together, they should be strong together. A little bit of misclick there for Ciskhan. Didn't actually click. And there we go. I think he's 1 hit behind. The Georgian scout doesn't start healing until feudal age. Or no, Ciskhan... What am I can just look down here. It's capture age. Ciskhan is ahead because he was... before that engagement, the first engagement, he was ahead. Ciskhan may have accidentally sent additional villagers out here more than he intended to. But of course, they do a very good job of collecting resources. And no, he wants to go for the fight. I like this. Both players do play... what's it called? Black Forest fairly often, and it looks like Target's just ready to run the vills. He's forcing up loom now. Might not be the timing that he wanted for his build order, and this middle section doesn't have amphibious terrain, so at least the fishing ships are safe for now. Ciskhan's trying to block. Oh no, the villager got trapped! No! Okay, loom is in, but he's kind of forced to fight until he can pull that villager back. Target doing a very good job. Might be blocking some of his villager pathing, though. Needs to keep that scout behind to allow his villagers to path correctly, and Ciskhan realizes, okay, not worth running for anymore. Could actually take out the dock, now that I think about it. Weaker Dark Age buildings with no armor, right? Do we see armor? Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's worth it still. There's no villager here to repair, but yeah, just doing a little bit of damage here with the scout might be all that's really needed. And Target, behind with the Georgian economy and those faster fishing ships, is up first. I don't know if he wants to fight water. When you're up first on water, it could be nice. It also could just be nice to make scouts, because we see that scouts can do a lot of damage to these fishing ships all the same. Second mule cart on gold indicates that he is indeed thinking about a water play. Ciskhan will be up as well, not too far behind. Doesn't have a ton of idle time, so he's up 25 to 20 eco units. And Ciskhan may have stayed around a little bit too long. I guess he does have his villagers here. And he blocks with the fishing ship to get his scout back. The micro nerd. Absolute nerd here. The villagers get pulled back now. I don't know if Ciskhan's thinking about fighting. Obviously, because he's up later, he can't scout what Target's doing, because he'd be at risk of losing his scout to the stronger feudal age scout from Target. So he's going to be in the dark a little bit. Probably just make some eco units at home. And play defensive for now. Even like fighting on water, I think this is more of an approach. We're going to get the resources we can while we have the opportunity. And after that, we'll just play land and treat it like a standard land map with lots and lots of deer. This might benefit Ciskhan if he can focus on fighting and pushing deer at the same time. Those extra Chinese villagers will have plenty of tasks to do. As they both get up, we still see there's a 3 villager advantage for Ciskhan. Maybe 2.5 villager advantage for Ciskhan. And he's going to go for a stable here. And a stable as well for Target. Both their economies are very close to the breaking point. Actually, queuing up a second fire seems like a mistake here for Target. Could have gotten that stable up a little bit earlier had he chosen not to go for the second fire. But does have a spear here. And I think Ciskhan's just going to try to drop off his food at the dock. And just, I don't know, do some random microing. Oh, no, he didn't even click the dock. Still 30 food in those fishing ships. One goes down, the rest drop off their food. And that's pretty much the last we're going to hear of the pond, I think. Ciskhan actually with the scout lead. But it should favor Georgians from here on out. Ciskhan also doesn't have a great idea of where his opponent is. Realizes he can't chase those Georgian scouts. He needs to get the scouting information. And one more fire here for Ciskhan. He's just hiding in his dock. Or I guess the only fire he's made. And another great thing about Georgians, other than their wonderful voice lines, is that they can make the mule carts to collect all of these deer. Do have to worry about scouts, though. Is that... Okay. Whoa, this villager is just pathing all over the place. Does get taken out there by Ciskhan, though. And Ciskhan adding another fire. He's ready to fight for water. He's like, no, you can't have this for free. Very interesting. And scout fight seems about even for both players. Of course, target has fewer, but they're going to be healing up now. And Ciskhan has some weak scouts behind. No range yet. I was thinking a range might be coming for Ciskhan, but he's getting horse collar instead. He's going to start farming around his TC. Doesn't have the attention span to keep pushing those deer at the moment. And sending a forward spear, hoping he can take one of target scouts down to 0 so it'll finally stop healing. Village is still exposed here. And do get pulled away because target cannot fight both the scouts and the spear. Spears are here in defense for target as well. But it looks like it's a pretty even fight for both players. Behind this, target still bent on gold. He hasn't retasked those villagers off to, I don't know, hunt or anything like that. Ciskhan very sloppy, sending his 2 forward spears right into the town center. And I think target will be happy to run back out to those deer and collect and continue collecting them. Target building some houses, very close to housed. Did he just lose a unit? Oh, he's losing the water. Not ideal. I mean, I don't think it really matters at this point for either player. There's some deep fish. But I think Ciskhan might have overinvested. Because even if your opponent tries to fish trap around it later, that's still exposed to scouts. I think target would really like a market soon, just to rebalance his economy. And Ciskhan, meanwhile, has been dropping farms consistently behind this scout pressure. People like to say that speed doesn't matter. I mean, I guess it doesn't at a lower level. But once you get up to this level, every action you can make and force your opponent to react to is an advantage for you. That's an extra resource. And we can see that taking play as Ciskhan has half the idle TC time of his opponent. He is up 7 villagers. He's lost, I guess, the 4 fishing ships. How does... Target lost another villager to something. I don't know what's happening. Is he accidentally killing villagers, or is he losing them to boars or rhinos? It might just be that it's not a good day today for target. Will we finally see a Georgian scout go down? We do! Finally see a Georgian scout go down. And I like this from Ciskhan as well. He has a few units amidst the forest, hiding out, just waiting to see any units come across. These villagers are very, very exposed. And Ciskhan doesn't want to take the fight before his upgrades come in. We do have bloodlines in for these scouts. The villagers were not good enough, or those units were not good enough to see the scouts come in on the wood line, but the micro here for target just isn't there. It's not looking hot. He does scout to see where Ciskhan is exposed, though. So might be able to run back around and do some damage. Ciskhan on the front, also just running around, hoovering, as it's often said. And he has full upgrades on his scout. Is housed for the moment. And willing to take the fights against the spears. Doing very bad job microing. Lots of scouts going down there in that engagement. And they might be fully upgraded, but their HP is definitely not at max. We'll pick off a villager in return there. Fires have won the pond here for Ciskhan, and they're shooting a few projectiles as the scouts, as they try to run around. Ciskhan's military, though, feels like it could end the game. I guess 4 of that is the fire, or 3 of that are the fires that are on the pond. But behind this, Ciskhan has 8 scouts. I don't know if they should be taking fights against spears. He's taking the hill to take these fights, but I don't know if it's worth it. I guess he might be able to take better fights behind. Quick walls are in for target around the villagers on the berry, but who is here to protect the villagers in the back? Scouts continue to fight. Villagers thinking about just running. Oh, this is looking ugly. Of course, scouts don't have that much HP, so if all of the villagers can be sent into the fight, could be okay. Ciskhan taking the fight anyways, pulling a few scouts away in either direction. Going back in to do the final blow. Hit the final blow. Is he actually microing both sides successfully? It feels like target won out on that fight. But we do have some scouts alive still. He's trying to find the lone stragglers. These straggling vills that are on the straggling trees. And he's up to Castle Age as well behind this. Ciskhan's playing solid. Archer range looks like it's going to be the follow-up here for target. I imagine it'd be cav archers. And identifies the scout that the spearmen were running after. Luckily, there is another spearman here in defense as target's forced to run all of his villagers back home. Cannot really take any more of these resources. And yeah, 4 spearmen in defense should be enough. Can target, though, get this this Vil difference back in early Castle Age before Ciskhan's up. Looking at his units, he looks like he's going cav archers. I don't think you can do that much damage in the early game with cav archers. He might be kind of surprised to see that Ciskhan's uptime is only a minute away once he hits. Because Ciskhan seemed to have invested a lot into scouts. And I think he got the payoff he wanted. Scouts think about jumping in there on the vills, building the archer range back out when they see the spearmen. And behind this, Ciskhan is using his 3 HP scout to scout out the rest of the map, find those additional resources. Almost all the gold and the stones are out here on the outside of the map. Scouts are again in, forcing the cav archers to stay at home. Spearmen's constantly chasing after them. Those spearmen are going to have some sore feet. I hope these villagers give them good massages. If the spearmen, of course, survive the fight. And light cav is the choice for Ciskhan. He's like, this has worked so far for me. I will continue with the light cav. Yeah, I don't see a second TC yet. He has the res for it now. Light cav isn't the biggest investment into military. He's adding a few more camels as well. I mean, he has such a dominant military lead. He can just force target to constantly have to react to his pathing. And if you have no villagers under the town center, it doesn't do much good trying to garrison your town center. Spears are being taken out. That's really the only defense for the cav archers, who still are stuck on fletching. And like cav, just go for the engagement on the wood line. Target realized he doesn't have what it takes to fend them off. And we have our first sweep of the tournament. I mean, Ciskhan looked so clean today. I mean, obviously some mistakes there, but it felt like he could have been playing in Platinum League this season. And I wouldn't be surprised if he makes it into TTL4 Platinum.